Learn me, I'll learn you. Diversity, teach me, I teach you like university. Freedom be, freedom be. Learn me, I'll learn you. Diversity, teach me, I'll teach you. Freedom be, diversity.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our learning series. I am Dr. C.I., the CEO and founder of a company called Diverse City, and this is our second season of our learning series. Did y'all miss me? Yeah? Alright, good. I missed y'all too. And I'm happy to be back to share knowledge again with y'all in this space around diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I also call that DEI. Now, speaking of DEI, here we are in our first episode where we're going to break down again the components of diversity, equity, and inclusion and what those really mean. So what is diversity? Diversity is about representation, okay? Do you see the seriousness in my face? Diversity is about the collective mixture of human beings and the identities that they have coexisting within a space. So when I say identities, I mean your race, your age, your gender, your sex, your disability, etc. And diversity is not just about your visible identities. It's also about your invisible identities. It might be your behaviors, etc. All the things that make us who we are fall under the umbrella of diversity, okay? Now, you can't have a conversation about diversity without having a conversation about inclusion. Because there are some spaces where diversity exists, but we practice exclusion, right? You get the people in the door, you tokenize the hell out of them, and then you leave them hanging and don't promote them, and they fall off a job, or you mistreat them while they're there. That's why you need to have a conversation about inclusion. So what is inclusion? Inclusion is about creating a space where you have welcomeness, belonging, respect, and you have created an equitable opportunity for people to show up and have an impact in the workplace in a meaningful way. Now, you have to have different policies and practices to be able to do that. And that's what inclusion is. And then you can't have a conversation about diversity and inclusion without thinking about equity. That's fairness. Remember, when I was talking about inclusion, I even mentioned equitable opportunity. Equitable opportunity means that it's fair and it's accessible for everyone. The difference between equity and equality is that equity is about fairness, equality is about sameness. Now, you can treat everybody the same, but in order to do that, you have to have fair practices, which means you might have to treat them differently in order to get to equality. Okay, you don't get equality without equity. You need equity first. Now, when I say that equity is about fairness, the way that we measure that is through accountability systems. So how do you measure whether or not people are being treated well in the workplace? What kind of policies and practices do you have set up in order to ensure that equity is happening? Right? It's about building systems to perpetuate fairness, to make sure that diverse populations are included in the workplace. You see how I spit that out? You don't get the D without the E, without the I. Do y'all remember in 2017, Denise Young-Smith, the Chief Diversity Officer of Apple, what she did when she went to Bogota, Colombia? Anybody? She went into that conference. She set herself on that stage and she said that there could be a room full of white men and they could have diversity. And she was right. There's some truth to that. There's some fact to that. But there's also some extreme gaps within that. Because when you talk about diversity, you can't have the conversation about it without the inclusion. And the part that she missed, her biggest mistake, is that she forgot to talk about the fact that a room could have diversity in it and still be exclusive. And you can't have a conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion without thinking about the visible and invisible diversities that exist. If only one visible diversity exists, that is homogenous. You see, you have to break diversity down within components to understand that homogeneity can exist on every level of your identity. And that's where she missed the mark, because that was an exclusive statement because it didn't take into account the different identities that may not be in the room and why they're not there. And I think that's why the world got so pissed off. And they had a right to be. So that's the T on DEI. Y'all got it? Don't forget to subscribe and follow our channel. Look below in the comment section. I'm Dr. C.I., the proud CEO and founder of Diverse City. And I'm here learning and growing and sharing with y'all. We got a great lineup of different speakers coming to talk to you this season. So y'all make sure to subscribe, give us some feedback, and let us know how we can work with you to make the world a better place. Y'all have a great day.
Learn me, I'll learn you. Diversity, teach me, I teach you like university. Freedom be, freedom be.